man. A lot of people think I'm some overnight sensation. You know, I've been doing videos now solidly for about 5 years, 5.5, I think. Okay. And to have 142,000 subscribers in 5 years is not crazy. There's people who within a year have 500,000 or 1 million. Now, those are the fluke stories that just explode. But it took me 2 years, man. This is what people need to hear. It took me 2 years, 24 months to hit my first 1,000 subscribers. 2 years.
Whoa.
And I had people saying, dude, I've been posting videos every day for a month and I only have 300 subscribers. I'm like, dude, I had like 20 in a month. I was getting 5, 10, 20 views on my videos, if that. And I was posting like once a week. So it took a long time, right? So the beginning was more, like I said, I wasn't focused on the metrics of, oh, I need a lot of followers and views and likes and shares and hearts and all these comments. I was like, I don't care if 20 people see it. I'm doing this for my brand and for people to see that I'm leaving a big footprint.
Welcome back to the second season of Echo Interviews. Today we have a very special guest for you. Today we have Bryan Casella, an absolute YouTube legend. Bryan is a realtor out of California who has grown his business dramatically through hard work and perseverance. And at the same time, he has absolutely taken over YouTube, Instagram, and pretty much any social media platform you can think of. Bryan shares how he got started and opens up about the keys to his success, along with providing advice to those just starting out in real estate and those that are looking to level up. You're not going to want to miss this, so hit that subscribe button and let's begin. All right, welcome back everybody to Echo Interviews. Super excited to have this next guest on. We have the living legend himself, Bryan Casella. He is by far the most referenced original realtor meets YouTube creator around. Bryan, welcome and thank you so much for being here.
Jaime, thank you, man. This is fun. I always love doing these and well, let's get started, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it, my friend. Bryan, tell us a little bit about yourself, the industry that you're in, and how you got started.
Cool. Great question, man. So I'm 33 right now, about 33 and a half. I got into real estate originally about 6 years ago to the day almost, maybe a little bit more. I want to say maybe August or September of 2013. Prior to that, I'd kind of grown up and I was always infatuated with basketball. I was always an athlete. I played soccer. I did a bunch of stuff. I was a really active kid. And from age 10 or 11 until about 25, my life was dedicated to just basketball. I played in high school. I played in college. I got a scholarship. I played professionally for a few years. But unfortunately, due to injury, I stopped playing. After my second ankle surgery, I decided to stop playing at age 24, 25. And that was devastating to me. I kind of, for a couple months, felt lost. I played the whole victim thing. Why me? This is bullshit. You know, why did this happen to me? Type of thing. And after feeling sorry for myself for a little bit, I said, okay, I got to get my life together, man. I'm 25. I have my whole life ahead of me. Let's take some of these skills and some of the strengths that I've developed over the last couple of years and channel it into something that I could build. Okay. And eventually I just chose real estate. I ended up driving by a real estate office. It just piqued my interest, seeing the signs, those signs that say make $100,000 your first year. Now, when I saw that, I didn't think like most people. I actually thought, man, there's probably only one guy that ever did that, and that's their advertisement. But let me see if I can find that guy, right? Let me talk to him. So I go in, and lo and behold, my first basketball coach ever when I was a kid ends up being the broker there. What a coincidence.
What?
We talk. After a couple hours, I'm like, okay, dude, I'm sold. I'm going to sign up. So I signed up for the classes. It took me about a while because I don't know if you're in California, dude, but the DRE here is horrible. And it took them forever to process my stuff. It took me almost a year to get my license, man. And then I just hit the ground running. I just really took that, that grit, that discipline, that commitment to the fundamentals and just showing up early, leaving late. That kind of attitude that I forged in basketball and athletics, I really channeled that towards real estate and then to everything else that I've done now, social media, YouTube, and it's really just been growing and avalanching over the last couple of years. And it's been really fun, man.
Awesome. No, so that's quite a story. I didn't know that about you. Of course, I've watched a good amount of your content, and I'm not just doing lip service. You are by far the most referenced
Cool.
agent slash YouTube creator out there. And actually in this season alone, I would say just about every single guest has referenced you
Wow.
in one capacity without exception. So you've made definitely a blueprint in what you're doing. So talk to us a little bit about why YouTube. Was that the first place that you went to? How did that happen?
Well, originally, no, man, it wasn't YouTube. It's like a two-way street for me. Number one, I did go to YouTube in the beginning, and just so people understand, right? They've been so saturated the last year or two that they don't remember what YouTube was like 5, even 4 years ago or 3 years ago. When I went to YouTube to find some stuff to help me with real estate, I wasn't finding much. I would find maybe one video on general door knocking or maybe cold calling, but there wasn't much out there at that time. And the people that I did find, like the Mike Ferries, who really didn't believe in social media at the time and still don't, there wasn't much like video material that I could relate to. I knew a lot of people getting into the industry were under 35, and they felt like, well, I don't relate to the guys that are 50, 60 who have been in the business 30 years. I want somebody in my generation who I can relate to. So part of it for me was part of my development. I was doing Toastmasters and really just working on my communication skills. But I really saw, aside from that missing piece of having a type of influencer or relatable person, I saw the future in video, like where we're at now. I don't know why, I just had a vision or something. I was like, dude, video is going to be huge. And I saw how people responded to video. To me, it was like TV. This is now the modern day TV. Somebody sees an individual on the screen who seems well polished, who can put sentences together. They're automatically perceiving them as an expert. They're entertained. The trust gap is covered. And it's just a very valuable tool. Now, I saw that when everyone else was saying, it's just a fad. Stop wasting your time with video. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to get you business. But I didn't get away from the traditional door knocking and cold calling. So all I did was I said, okay, video is great. I'm going to start practicing just for the sake of getting better at communicating. But I know there's people out there like me searching for somebody that they can relate to. And I started putting it out, man. And that's how it was. It shifted later, and we can talk about that as far as the trajectory and the purpose behind it. But in the beginning, it was just that. And all I did was share my live calls, me going door to door, what books I was reading, and my journey. It became literally a video diary. And that's all I was doing. And the snowball started growing a little bit after that. But, I'm sure you're probably going to ask me questions related to that.
Yeah, no, for sure. So you mentioned it became more of a video diary, or I hesitate to say vlog because that's kind of directing it somewhere else. But yeah, it becomes more of you get to track your progression just by, and sharing it with other people. So was your intention at the beginning, who was your audience? Was it for real estate agents just to share, hey, you're not the only one struggling out here. We all struggle, and this is my way of doing that. Was it for agents, or was it for the buyers and sellers to see you and have that brand awareness?
Great question. Two ways. It was more so for me to document my journey and kind of have like a video reference for myself. I wasn't really too focused on agents in the beginning, the first couple of years, but it was more like for me to have a blueprint online so people could see, because I knew people were going to start Googling me. And that was really the intention. I want to be able to have a footprint out there so people look up my name, they can start watching videos and see, well, is this guy legit? And they'll see that I'm working. Because I talked a big game to my clients and said, I'm out here hustling, dude. But I know a lot of people are saying that. How many of them can actually back it up, right? You can type my name and go to my channel and you see me. You can call me and I'll be on live and I'll FaceTime you and I'm out here door knocking. I'm working. So maybe a little bit for agents, but mostly for credibility and branding. And also I was at that time in the beginning making a lot of videos for the consumer, short little videos about why commission is important, how the structure works in real estate, the home buying process, the importance of pricing your home, the reality of what it takes to get a home sold versus what people market you and what they're telling you. So it was really more of a branding awareness and also educational platform, maybe for agents, but also for consumers. But I would say the main foundation was to build credibility for myself and my brand. So if people looked up Bryan Casella, they know exactly who I am and what I'm doing. And there's something legitimate to it. It's not just what I'm saying. They can see it live.
Awesome. So as far as the channel in and of itself, Did it just skyrocket immediately, or what was the trajectory like? Did you put out a few videos and it was similar to my journey, a ghost town, or how did that start happening? How did you start gaining traction?
I'm glad you asked that question, man. A lot of people think I'm some overnight sensation. You know, I've been doing videos now solidly for about 5 years, 5.5, I think. Okay. And to have 142,000 subscribers in 5 years is not crazy. There's people who within a year have 500,000 or 1 million. Now, those are the fluke stories that just explode. But it took me 2 years, man. This is what people need to hear. It took me 2 years, 24 months to hit my first 1,000 subscribers. 2 years. And
Whoa.
I have people
Okay.
saying, dude, I've been posting videos every day for a month and I only have 300 subscribers. I'm like, dude, I had like 20 in a month. I was getting 5, 10, 20 views on my videos, if that. And I was posting like once a week. So it took a long time, right? So the beginning was more, like I said, I wasn't focused on the metrics of, oh, I need a lot of followers and views and likes and shares and hearts and all these comments. I was like, I don't care if 20 people see it. I'm doing this for my brand and for people to see that I'm leaving a big footprint. So they go to my channel, they see I had 50 or 100 videos. That's all I care about. I don't care about being the hottest and flashiest influencer and being number one on all these articles. I could care less. This is to educate the people that do come across me and to build my brand, to show, hey, I am out there and I'm relevant. That's it. So everyone's focused on what we just talked about. They want all the likes and the followers. That's not what it's about. Because to this day, I don't have the most likes and followers and all that. But like you said, my brand is strong. That's all I've been focused on. My focus and intention is on that, not the hype. And that's where I think people make a mistake. You want to be the most talked about, or you want to say, I get 10,000 likes on all my pictures. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Okay. That's my message to people. So when you take your focus off that and it's like, I'm building my brand, now it becomes a little easier for you to make videos. And now you're not so caught up emotionally, like, oh, well, no one shared it. I'm not getting all these comments. And you take that like desperation away from it. And you know that you're building something, because it's all about us and our brand. It's not about how many likes and followers you have. The consumer doesn't care about that. They care about the quality of your content. Are your videos relevant? Is it good? Does it teach something? Does it demonstrate who you are as a professional? That's what people want to see, and that's what they really care about.
Bam. I'm gonna make sure to cut that out and put that at the front, because that's really what people needed to hear. You absolutely nailed it on the head. I personally needed to hear that because my channel, as far as an example, it just hit 3,000 subscribers. I've been going at it for a little bit over a year, and there's that frustration, right? There's that, oh, well, this video did so well, we got to, let's say, 100, and then this one can't break 15. So then there's that frustration. It's too easy to get demoralized. I mean, there's worse things that could happen in this world, but certainly hearing that, up until the 2-year mark, there wasn't that exponential growth. But what did you what was that tipping point? What happened on that 2-year mark, or when did it start ballooning up for you?
When it really evolved for me, man, was when I started really expressing my individuality and thinking outside of the box. As an example, somebody gets into real estate, they think, well, my channel and everything about me, my posts, my Instagram, my Facebook, has to only be real estate. I only talk about open houses. I only talk about listings. I only talk about buyers. The reality is people will tune you out like this. The people who can have 1 million followers who share that open house flyer, it gets like 3 likes with 1 million followers. Nobody gives a shit, right? I started tipping it the opposite. I said, you know what? I'm going to demonstrate what I stand for, me as a person, my likes, my interests, so people can really get to know me. That's when it started exploding, right? As an example, I have 2 videos on my channel that one has just under 1 million views and the other one has like 1.2 million. And you know what they are? They're car videos. One of them, I went to the Fast and Furious house at the time with my GTR, my Nissan GTR, got 1.2 or 1.3 million views. And the other one, I went to go visit Paul Walker's grave, and I got like 950,000 views, okay?
Whoa.
Additionally to that, because those got me subscribers, sure. It was when I started collaborating with other people who were in line with my interests. There's a guy out here in Ontario who has 400,000 or 500,000 subscribers. Me and him collabed because we're both car guys. I said, hey, dude, I got a GTR. I know you're going to buy one soon. Let me take it by so you can check it out. He's like, sure. We end up collaborating, doing a couple videos. Boom, I get my first surge in subscribers. That takes me from like 1,000 or 2,000 to like 5,000 or 6,000. Then these videos, then me posting live calls, me calling a for sale by owner, me calling it expired. That's what I can say in my niche. The live calls have been the best. Other than that, it's been me expressing myself and being open to other people criticizing and bitching about it, for sure. Because you're going to get attacked. I get attacked like a motherfucker, for sure. And that's where people draw the line. Well, I can't do that because what if people disagree? People are going to disagree anyway. Okay. If you have the courage to step out of the box and express who you are, people will connect with you. You're going to create, and this is what people miss. You have to be able to effectively draw that line. Like, pretend everybody watching, there's a line right here splitting my head. You need a clear divide between the people who ride with you and support you and the people who hate your guts. Too many people have people in the gray area. You're too afraid to express yourself to offend people, but you need to draw that wedge. That's what ultimately will give you loyal followers who will ride with you and help you grow your brand and your business. And then you have the people who are giving you free marketing on the other side who are trash talking you. You need that. That's the easiest form of marketing. I love when people make hate videos about me. You know why? Because all my stats go up. I could care less what they say. I never respond. Good. Keep talking about me, please. I want that. That's the attitude people need to adopt instead of, oh my God, they made a video about me. Uh-oh, what am I going to do? Do I, you know what I mean? It's just, it's the wrong mindset around these things. But again, I know I'm kind of going off now. It's the collaboration, 1, 2, expressing your individuality and your personal interest in who you are as a person. And then 3, if we have something in this niche of real estate, like the live calls, the live presentations, people eat that stuff up. And those videos have, 200,000, 150,000, 250,000 views. So I would say those are the 3 main branches or sources that led to me funneling in more people and really growing my numbers.
That's awesome. No, and thank you so much for providing tangible things that we can work on. So that's super important. What would you say, and you've touched on it when you were sharing some of the things that other creators are doing wrong. What would you say is the biggest thing that they are doing wrong? Would it be just, not being themselves, being a version that they think is gonna work? What would you say is the thing that they're just missing?
They're being what they think everyone else wants them to be. That's it. And part of it is, not being yourself, but they don't think in terms of, this is the way I can explain it. People are conditioned that way, right? The individual has been lost. Where do people run to? Oh, this is my team. This is that. In high school, in middle school, we wanted to be a part of the clique, the cool kids. We didn't want to be alone. If you were alone, what were you branded as? A loner, a loser. So our conditioning has been pushed to where the individual is lost and you're one of many. So you have no significance. So now when you step into the world of social media, where you have to now be a lone wolf and be able to brand yourself and be unique, you've had 20, 30, 15, 40 years of conditioning of doing the opposite. So it doesn't feel comfortable for people. So their inclination is, well, yeah, I need to be one of the bunch. Of course. The realtor is supposed to wear a suit, have a briefcase, have a black tie, say, hello, my name is Mr. Johnson, and talk like this and walk like this. But then you're one of 100 people. If we put you in a room, we won't notice who you are. Versus me, if you drop me in that room, you'd be like, oh, there's Bryan for sure. I mean, you're going to notice something, the way I look, my tattoos, the way I speak, something is going to stand out, right? That's the difference. So instead of making the content the right way, which is their own version of it, it's, well, if I do this, how would the audience want me to say it, right? It's like the other people's criticisms and judgments now become senior to your creativity and uniqueness in delivering the content. So maybe somebody is watching this who maybe isn't a cusser, right? I curse a lot, right? It's been pretty evident. I've already cussed like 5 or 6 times on this. But maybe they're not. That's okay. They don't have to morph into me and cuss. But if they were talking to their friends, this is my example. If you were sitting there with your friends and you wanted to talk about this real estate topic, how would you deliver it to them? Like, what are you changing incorrectly on the video and sounding all robotic that if you were just sitting with your friends, how would it change? Maybe you would be a little bit more direct, especially if you're correcting them. Hey man, that doesn't work. Instead of patting them on the back and saying, oh no, it's okay, because you think that's what people want. That's the biggest shift. And that comes from the inside. There's no like lesson I can give you in terms of, 1, 2, 3 step system to overcome that. That's inner game. That's why I focus my channel, a lot of my content on mindset and inner game, true inner game, because that's the game changer. That's what will allow that person to step up and do what I just said and not hesitate, versus other people want to do it, but they still hold back. Same thing with the person, like the little picture I posted today of the phone on Instagram and Facebook that said, pick me up, I make you money. right? Because, you know, so many people are scared to make calls. I was like, it's mindset right there is as the difference between the person who just picks it up and dials and the person who has the scripts and is ready and just keeps making excuses and stories as to why they're not picking it up, right? And that's why my focus has been on that. So stop being the traditional, what you think, and start doing it the way you would want to do it, right? That's the biggest piece of advice I can give to people, because you're going to get hate and criticism, but you're going to start building a foundation that's going to allow you to separate yourself and be unique to where people will start following you and writing with you. You know why? And here's why I do before I pass it back to you. They'll be like, man, he has something or she has something. They have a courage that I don't have, and maybe I can tap into that and do that and emulate it in my life. You become the source of almost like hope for people. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you can appeal to that, the crowd is yours.
That's huge. That's huge. One of the biggest, and I wrote it down here, the friend analogy. You know, how would you explain it to a friend? You know, we as agents, we are, you know, we're famous for taglines, right? So he's like the best realtor, the top realtor. Well, how many top realtors can there really be in Dallas, right? Yeah. I mean, there's one. So with that, like whenever you're creating content, I've caught myself with that quite a bit, and I still do it. I do think of the audience, but almost too much. Yes, there is a level of interest that you need to have in them, clearly, but you're not communicating to them that way. You're communicating to them as if they're just this entity that doesn't exist. Well, no, communicate them to what you're saying, that I'm going to treat you like family. I'm going to treat you like a friend. Well, would you give the same advice to your friend that you would with the client that you just met? Ideally, yes, but we're not communicating that way. So that's super huge. That is a big takeaway. Thank you for that. I need to work on that.
Yeah, man. Even something simple as this. Like when I make a video, the biggest feedback as I get, man, I feel like you're talking to me. So even like I look at language, right? Just a quick switch for people that'll help them. How do most people on YouTube talk? Hey guys, blah, 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 blah. I don't say that. I say, hey, you need to listen to this video. So even that change from guys to, hey, I hope you have a pen and pad ready, and I hope you're ready to listen. It's like I'm talking to an individual versus talking to the audience. That little switch right there. Now there's more than that, but that little switch, I don't see very many people do. But if you really listen to the people who know how to communicate, they're going to at least be doing that in certain moments. Those are the types of things that separate the average influencer from somebody who can communicate at a higher level. That's why my focus has been be a better communicator. If you can communicate, that is supreme over everything else. This is why you can stay above the hate and the criticism and everything else. You know why? Because at the end of the day, you cannot be denied. If you have that skill set, you cannot be denied. I don't care what they say or what rumors or gossip is out there about you, you will reign supreme because you can communicate better than them. That's what wins. That's what wins like debates. If we're talking presidency, whoever you support. But typically, even if the person you don't like, if they communicate better than your candidate, they're probably going to win.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, a lot of the audience, and I can safely say this because I took a poll prior to this, a lot of the audience has not migrated onto the YouTube platform. And I mean, there's various reasons. Some of them were, I don't know what to say. I don't know. Well, that was number one. I don't like the way that I look. Well, I mean, this is the way that you look. It's just being it's the only difference is that you get to see yourself now, and various other reasons. But for those people that are gonna have that courage after this interview, what would you suggest that they focus on when it comes to content? What type of content should they be producing out there so they can build that momentum, because it's very easy to lose, especially on this platform?
Great question, man. I want to address something real quick. The one you said, because that's a big one, especially for the female audiences. I don't like the way I look. People have forgotten this little factoid, we can say, or fact, okay? Let's say we have two people. One who is a female, who's extremely attractive and almost perfect looking. And then we have somebody who themselves maybe isn't as attractive, if we're going to use society standards, and thinks that way of themselves. What they fail to realize is the attractive one is just going to get just as much, if not more, criticism than the one who thinks they're not attractive. You know why? If you're not attractive, what are you going to hear? You're ugly, this, you don't look good, wear makeup, blah, blah, blah. The perfect one, Oh, you just wear too much makeup. Oh, you're fake. Oh, this and that. You think you're the shit, right? Both are going to get criticism. That's why I said earlier, no matter which end of the spectrum you fall in, they're going to find some shit to say. It's too good to be true. For sure you have fake lips and tits and this and that. There's no way you look that good. I'd love to see you off camera, see if you look the same. You're going to get the same thing. Like, you literally will. So that's how I help people throw that excuse out the window, because the facts are, no matter who you are, no matter if you do it by the book, your own way, you're still going to get shit from people, period. Okay? Now, when it comes to the production of content, one thing that I noticed that's the underlying issue, I consider, I don't know what to say and all that, as like a surface level kind of story. The underlying issue is a lot of people don't feel as if they're credible or worthy enough to do videos, because they feel that there's this expectation that, well, I need to have X amount of sales. I need to be in the business a certain amount of time. Look, when I started, I had zero credibility or track record. But what did I do? I just documented my journey. There's always a way you can create content, okay? And again, that underlying issue falls into what they think other people want. Well, they're only going to want the expert who sells 300 homes. They're not going to listen to me. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, okay? If you create content like I did, hey, I'm door knocking today. This is what I'm doing. Hey, I read this book. I got a great line from it I want to talk to you about for 2 minutes, because when I read this line, I noticed that in this situation with this client, it helped me. Here's the video. There's an idea, okay? Also, I don't care where you fall on the spectrum, okay? If you're watching this and you're in real estate, whatever it is, I call it like, this is a technique I use. I call it like the tree system, right? So let's say I'm a realtor and I want to make videos. Well, how can I create the tops of certain trees? For one, I can say maybe seller, right? So I write seller as like the star on the Christmas tree. For the second one, I put buyer at the very top. Now I start branching off, my first 2 branches. What are some ideas I can do for a seller video? Well, the importance of pricing your home right. Okay. Second one, what it takes to sell a home and all the factors involved with it, right? Number 3, when's the best time in the year to sell a home? 4, common misconceptions sellers have about the real estate process. I just gave you 4 off the top of my head. Now, if you sit there with a pen and paper like I have right here, you can create 50 ideas in a matter of minutes, and you'll be able to create content. If you're going to do 2 videos a week, you just create a content for 2 months. It's that simple. It's just everybody's too caught up in their head instead of being in the action. And maybe in the beginning, I didn't know better, but I was like, I just need to be a workhorse and just get this shit out. I just need to get it out, because it's never going to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. And if you're a beginner, if you want a secret weapon against haters, this is what you do. Let's say it's my first video. What's up, everybody? This is Brian. Hey, this is my first video. I'm just letting you know. So there's probably going to be a lot of slip-ups, okay? Awesome. Now, if I admit that and anybody goes in the comment section and trashes me, they just became an asshole, because I admitted I'm new. So for somebody to go after me and diss me makes them a real big asshole. And other people will go in and defend you. They'll be like, dude, he just said he was new. Stop being a dick. That's how you take the weapon and you flip it on them. Okay? That's a free little plug for you guys.
Brian, that's amazing. I'm going to start doing that on every video.
I'm telling you, man.
No, that's huge. That is huge. That's great.
This is why I always talk about this stuff, man, because like I got all this stuff just from mindset, right? Like I'm very studied too, and like I'm a certified master practitioner in NLP. I have my hypnotherapy license. I'm a certified hypnotist. Not in the sense of it's cool, but I wanted to really learn the mind and the psychology of how humans think and behave. And that's what I've gotten from it. This is how I've been able to, with that understanding, come up with lines and language patterns to help people with this stuff, because that's what it's about. If I can get somebody to feel more confident and sure about themselves, they're going to take way more action. Because even when resistance comes in and failures and mistakes, they're going to approach it differently and say, oh, this is just feedback. I need to learn. Okay, I'm going to get back out there and get better at this. Versus the average person, oh, that client hung up on me. I'm worthless. I'm no good. No one's going to trust me. I'm too young. I knew I was too ugly, and all that bullshit they fucking make up, right?
Yeah. That is cool. So you pursued those certifications or those licenses to understand people better?
And the funny thing, bro, is people are like, wait, what does that have to do with real estate? I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, people are so close-minded. It has everything to do with understanding human behavior, the mind, and communication. And what's the number one tool and asset we have in this business? Communication. I can talk to a super pissed off expired or FISBO, or give me any situation, my communication can handle it. What if I was able to talk to your audience and say, what if I could just, wave a magic wand like Harry Potter, and suddenly you had the confidence and ability to communicate with anybody in any way at any time to get the desired result? to get them to be happy instead of upset, to get them to sign the contract. Would you want that? They'd all be like, yes, let me get it now. That's what that helps you do. This is why I'm so good. Now, I don't sell 100 or 200 homes a year. My team is 3 of us, and we do like 50 transactions a year, which is solid. It's not legendary, but we don't do any advertising. It's all active prospecting, referral based, and just work. But the people that we do work with, we're very good and we get the result, period. So that's what I focus on. Just being effective and getting the job done. I don't want to take 200 listings and sell 50. I want to take 50 listings and sell all 50. That to me is better in my book. Okay. We have very little overhead. We have a smooth operation and it's just great. And that's what I want. That's what I teach my team. And they're very good communicators. That's it. That's all we focus on, right? I don't need the magic bullet. I don't need a 3-step system to become a multimillionaire overnight, working from home 3 hours a week. I don't need any of that, bro. We just need to be great at communicating, because that is universal, and it'll help you in your real estate business. It'll help you in your confidence. It'll help you out there in your friendships, relationships. It's just one of those skills that I still feel is so underappreciated and misunderstood.
All right, Bryan. Now I'm getting mad at you, because I'm gonna have to clip up every single one of these. So you just extended my editing for a few more minutes, but that's fine. That's fine.
Making you work, man, and earn your money.
Yeah, you're making me earn it today. That's awesome. Well, I love that you've mentioned action several times, actually a good amount of times. And that's something that I wanted for this channel from the very beginning when I launched it. There's a lot of people talking about theory, abstract, pie in the sky things, but this channel wanted to provide something very actionable. So I go from strategy into something that you can implement. So as soon as people click off the channel, they can actually go do something. So that's the genesis of my favorite question, and which happens to be the last question. If you had to start all over again today with the knowledge that you have now, what does your next 7 days look like?
Man, if I really look back, a lot of the stuff that I did in the beginning, I would literally emulate that, because, and this is why, my first year was just a ton of action, right? Before I even got into doing the videos, when it came to real estate, it was just a very tight schedule. You know, wake up, read, do something physical, get in the office, role play for 30 minutes, get on the phones and doors for the next, 4 hours, 2 hours on the phone, 2 hours on the doors, do my follow-up, take a break, do more role play and practice, learn the contracts and study my craft for the next 30 minutes or hour, and get back out there and prospect more, go on appointments. That's all I would do. The only thing I would change is now I would add video and shoot one video every day. And if I shoot a video, this is what people don't get. I shoot one video on my phone here, which now is 1080p with good audio quality. You have no fucking excuse. I can take that video that I shoot with my camera and post it on YouTube, post it on Snapchat, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, post it on IGTV, and whatever else you want. TikTok, all those freaking apps that they have now. That one video that I shot, because you can splice up that video, you can just post it all. It's that simple. I would post every day on social and work my ass off in real estate, and I guarantee you in a year or year and a half, I'd be doing deals, I'd have money, and I'd start growing. That's it. Aside from that, maybe I would have invested more in myself, going to more events and seminars in the beginning, and maybe put a little bit more effort into that, and meeting the right people. Because I see that people are running more towards YouTube because it's free, and they're almost like hesitant or anti, like, oh, I'm not going to spend any money. I can just get everything for free. You can get a lot for free, sure, but you're not going to get in front of those top people without putting some skin in the game. I can guarantee you that, and they're not going to give you the time of day.
Boom. That's a great way to wrap it up. Bryan, where can people connect with you?
Well, if you just Google Bryan Casella, you'll find me, right?
Yeah.
At Bryan Casella is my Twitter, just like you see here, my name. That's my Instagram. You should find me on Facebook, my YouTube. I made it very easy to find me. The one thing I'm going to push here at the end, I'm not one to pitch all the time. I started about a year and a half ago, my program called Modern Success. I have realtors, I have non-realtors in there, but that's the all-encompassing kind of coaching that I created to help people with their sales, their confidence, their communication skills, their mindset. That's where I give all my best stuff, and I recommend everybody gets on it. It's only $127 a month. It's on my website, bryancasella.com. If you are going to check anything out of mine, that would be what I would recommend personally.
Bam. Bryan, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being on.
Thank you, dude. Great questions, and I'm happy to be here, dude. If you want to do it again, just let me know.